qu'au-delà des mers, là-bas sur le ciel clair, il existe une cité au séjour enchanté. Et sur les grands arbres noirs, chaque soir, vers elle s'en va tout mon espoir. J'ai deux amours, mon pays et Paris, pareil toujours, mon cœur est ravi.
The beginning of the end of Voltage League Season 7 is upon us, and as we start stepping into the midpoint, kind of the halfway of autumn, things on the outside are looking a bit cold. You know, I'm already shivering right now in my room, but on Voltage League here today, we're going to be heating things up as the quarterfinals and semifinals tomorrow are upon us, and today on the desk, starting with the first quarterfinal match, it will be me, Puffo Bob, leading you through the matches, alongside the man, the myth, the legend, Amguns. How are we feeling?
It's quarterfinals, man. It's been a long time coming. Stage 3 is now complete. The stage is set, and we are ready for our first game of the quarterfinals, Puffo. And it is going to be Myth versus Wisteria coming into the first game of the day. It's early. We've got lots of Siege today with South Breach following on from us today. I am so excited for the amount of Siege we're going to get to watch today, Puffo.
Yeah, huge amount of Siege here today. And you know, we have ourselves a 2 best-of-3 series, and I'm really excited for it because, again, all of these teams we're going to be seeing today are here for a reason. Now, you know, I think it's time that we take a look at the lovely brackets. Before we go anywhere, let's see what we're going to be watching today, and of course, where these teams currently lie and what they have ahead of themselves. Again, the final point of Season 7 is here. Today, we have Myth Esports facing Wisteria. Later on, Sikapanas versus UAIM, both in a best-of-3 matchup, and whoever goes into them, then they're going to have to face some more tomorrow. That's going to be Geeke and Panahune. And, well, for now, let's focus on today a bit more. You know, we have ourselves Myth and Wisteria. Let's take a look at the schedule. Let's take a look at today's schedule, Amguns, because like we said, we're excited. We're ready to see who's going to be coming out on top because it's going to be a whole lot of Siege today.
It is indeed. We've got the first game with versus Wisteria. And just to remind everybody very briefly how we got here, these are the top 6 teams coming in from stage 3. So after our group stage where it was a 2x round robin, these are your top 6 teams. And this will be the bottom 4 teams of those top 6 that are playing in these quarterfinals today. And as you can see on screen, we've got a lovely best of 3 to kick things off for us now. And then we'll have our second best of 3 quarterfinal coming in at 2 o'clock, which will be Sikopatas versus UAIM later.
And that will also be covered by new faces and new casts. But as we're still here right now, Amguns, I wonder what the predictions are looking like. We have ourselves the stat predictions right on board to see who voted for who. And I think it's quite tradition that you Amguns and Unnamed really like going for the underdogs. I've been sticking with Myth since the beginning, but what's the thought process?
I believe is the thought process. We've seen them evolve. We've seen this team grow across the last stage, especially. I think when we had a bit of a reshuffling in the league, Wisteria really seized the opportunity, and we just like to see some upsets. I really want to see this team grow and achieve success, especially because they've been playing in so many tournaments. I really just want them to do well and show the world that they belong here in these T2 tournaments and put the rumors to bed that they can't compete at this level.
100%, but you know, we're taking a look at both of these matchups. There are fan favorites, or as for the first matchup, we have Myth, the second one Sikopatas, and in general, that doesn't discourage the fact that Wisteria have themselves a beautiful track record. UAIM just about as well, and there's a reason they're here, so let's see them shine both wise. But as for now, we have to see the map bans. Where will these teams be fighting each other? For map number 1, it will be Chalet, picked by Wisteria, followed by Myth on Cafe Dostoevsky, and the decider if we end up getting to it, Nighthaven Labs.
And this map veto is fascinating, Papa. The amount of labs that we've seen here in the Voltage series, especially between these teams as well. Both of these teams are extremely well drilled on labs. They played it extensively throughout the qualifiers. They then played it extensively in the division groups. and then also playing it extensively through our group stage 2x round robin. So I'm a bit surprised that Labs wasn't maybe target banned out early, but the most important ban is going to be that fourth ban coming in from Myth. Consulate is by far Wisteria's favorite map across stage 3. They beat a handful of teams 7-0 on Consulate, so I think Myth have done their homework here and banned out Consulate to deny Wisteria their ideal map pick puffer.
100%, but Myth aren't going to be the only ones being the top of the year student here. Wisteria themselves did a bit of research, and they got rid of Border after the cafe pick from Myth. And Border is where Myth shined bright in the last chance qualifiers of South Breach. But now we take a look at the team stats here. On our right, or on your left, we see Myth, the top player Dynamite, an outstanding performer, but the rest of the team supporting him as well. Recent additions with Arkari, we also saw differences come out around in September where there were roster changes, but Myth are still strong in voltage, and again, throughout history, they've been a dominant team.
They have indeed, and there's been multiple iterations of this roster. So Nixon used to be a part of this roster, he's not here anymore. They've made various different changes, and it's worked out for the better right now. Myth, from a eye test perspective, they look extremely solid. They're very calm and composed in their execute. I think especially Akari has also brought a lot of experience into the roster, help some of these other players find their groove, especially Dynamite. He's come into sort of a world of his own recently, and this roster is an absolute behemoth of a roster to come up against.
Yeah, 100%. Because, I mean, Myth, they're known, they're favorited, but this match also has a second opponent. And let's take a look at Wisteria for a change of pace here. We've seen a lot of stats, we still have plenty to go. And while Wisteria, on the other hand, top of the player will be Pozo. The rest of the team also following along. No stats on Carnage, but, you know, Amgun's Wisteria, even though they've had a lot of changes, even being picked up by an org like Ryujin and then moving or spreading ways later on, they were still persistent.
They have been. They've been hanging on in there. They've made it into playoffs, which is what we like to see. But we're going to Chalet first, and this is where Wisteria's playstyle can shine. Unfortunately, their results coming into Chalet aren't the best. They played it in the quals, and they had a couple of wins. They also played it in stage 2, where it was okay. Like, they really have rounds where they look phenomenal, and then they have rounds where it seems like the game plan that they create for themselves in the prep phase just seems to go out the window at times. So the best thing I want to see from Wisteria is just sticking to the game plan. We see really good ideas coming out from Wisteria on how to solve common problems. I'd just like them to see them make sure they can stick to those game plans. Because when they stick to their plan and they execute what they've designed, this team looks really, really good. I just want to see more of that, especially with maybe a newer player in the form of Kanaj. I want to see him rise into this team and find his feet early, so that way they're not sort of playing a man down with a new player.
100%. You know, you have to build team chemistry through trust, through experience, and in general, through game knowledge. I mean, we're playing these T2 tournaments, or what is feeding into the T2 major tournament by the end, and Voltage League has gotten to a large standpoint. We have seen a lot of major teams such as Kike, such as Diavoli, which sadly won't be with us anymore. But, you know, when we're focusing on Wisteria and Myth here, they in general have proved to be strong. And with recent changes, again, it doesn't prove to be the best of, I would say, changes, or the best of, how would you even say that? Ways of going about it. There we go. But in general, you know, we're still looking at a great matchup, because every time these two teams have played up until now, it truly has been fantastic. And, you know, now we're just wondering, on map number 1, we're taking a look at Chalet. Amguns, what are we expecting?
So Chalet is really interesting, because especially from Wisteria's side, they've played it twice in the qualifiers. They played it on, they won 8-6, as well as winning 8-6 again. So they played it twice in the quals, especially coming from stage 3 though, in those most recent fixtures. That's where things get really interesting. They've lost to a handful of teams on Chalet specifically, but I'm really curious to see if they have fixed their wrongs and have adapted, and they're going to come up with some new strats for us here going into Chalet. And the other thing that worries me a little bit coming into Chalet is obviously these VODs are available. Me and you, Papa, we casted a lot of these games on Chalet. So it's going to be a question of, again, Myth look like they've done their homework. They've clearly looked at results from Wisteria. How prepared are both of these teams going to be going into Chalet?
going into Chalet, but then also going into Cafe. We haven't seen these two teams face off or even play Cafe in general. Like, this is a bit of a incoming first in the recent times for both Myth and Wisteria. And while though Myth, again, I'm wondering what the decision is by not picking Border, where they had really good results. And again, the last chance qualifiers of South Breach over on Border. So not trying to convert that into Voltage might be a bit of a downside. But again, what do I know? Maybe they're cooking.
Maybe they're cooking, but it seems like we've got 10 out of 10 in lobby and we are good to go, Puffo. So let's get Delay underway and get the first quarterfinal of Stage 4 of Voltage Series without any more delay.
Without any more delay, this will be the first map of the first best of 3 here today. Wisteria facing Myth, looking to claim ground in the first and early map. Will their past records and track record persist, as, you know, Wisteria do have a bit of an overhand on Myth in their head-to-head records. But hey, we're going to have to see. Voltage League has been a bit rough for both of these teams at times, but we head into Chalet expecting the best results as quarterfinals are here. Grim will be the first band joined by the Cade.
I really like the Cade ban coming in from Wisteria. We've seen teams utilize the Cade to Borrow combination to really good effect. Delay being the small map it is, can be extremely frag heavy, but we have seen teams lean into that utility meta by making just getting walls open, getting that first stage complete as difficult as possible, as well as the Clash being banned out here, Puffo, the menace she is. She can be used across all 4 sites. I think no surprises there that the Clash has been banned out as well.
No surprises there. I mean, on a map like Chalet, Clash and the isolation the operator brings, but mostly also the cancellation of trying to push yourself in, get that aggression and kick things off. It's a bit of a thorn in your side. Although we're going to be heading into round number 1. It's going to be Barn Gaming Room, which is most of the time favored for a lot of these teams. And taking a look at the lineup, I'm not too surprised at what I'm seeing.
Very standard behavior coming in from the side of Myth. We've got the Mirror and the Wamai, which I love to see. We're doubling down on that piece of utility, which is extremely strong, especially on that top floor. You can remove any pesky Ash charges from just deleting your Mirror outright. But as we saw from Myth, Brava has been banned out. However, when I look across this lineup, Puffo, I'm not really seeing any particular operator that really shines now that this Brava has been banned out. Sometimes we see extensive use of a Maestro, and Malusi is very common on this top floor to really put a chokehold on those attackers. So I'm a little surprised that Myth haven't leaned into their ban, as they're going to be going with this double mirror setup here on the top floor in Library.
I think when you're taking a look at a team like Myth, you're taking a look at a roster that is very down to the book. They are centered around their strategy. They know how to play this roster very well, and they don't want to make drastic changes like replacing a Warden, a Wamai, a Goyo. These are all essential parts of their strategy, and even though the Brava is off the charts, they're still looking to kind of stick it down to what they've been practicing.
Exactly that. We just need to make sure we stick to our guns. We know what works. There's no real reason to get too innovative, especially first round into this best of 3. So I don't blame Myth at all for going for a very routine lineup. When we look at this setup, the thing that concerns me most is how we deal with these mirrors.
Yeah, I would be concerned about the runouts as well. Arcari are looking to test his chances, does get pushed back by the Rotera drone, and almost even shot out as Pozo's now holding the Makos again. Wisteria, they can push Pozo forward. He is the top dominator statistically on Wisteria's side, and even though taking a bit of damage, Arcari looking to swing on 5, retreats back to Library Stairs.
And this is where we've got the mid-game, but Dynamite's going to kick things off as he finds one with the new and improved Hollow, as he's looking for a second here.
He's looking for a second. Myth can get quite aggressive, and on a map like Chalet, it tends to be very heavily complemented. Although Wisteria now making an entry into the building themselves, it seems that Myth have backed off for once, for twice as well, but only a matter of time until things kick off.
And now we get the battle of utility. We saw 2 shields and 2 mirrors stacked up towards this bar side on the library area as Neos is going to kick things off, finding, punishing Dynamite. He's just inside Puffo.
It's just inside. The Witch has made her step. The first one that Wisteria, this should have been expected at the end, and you're going to be able to pick up a kill alongside it as a double already here for the 417 machine. Merlin making a great groundbreaking entrance that Myth can't deny. They can hold it from the outskirts, but Wisteria have technically made their way into sight.
But we need to get Nolfin. The question is, we've made entry to site, but we don't have control of the vert. We need to navigate these vertical angles. We have so many smokes to be able to do it. But Akari's going to find one from blue stairs, and they can't get the diffuser in here, Puffo.
Oh, that is just such a great loss. It was something Syria could have backed off of. That's just a jump in fly. No, that's the case dropped on site. Niaz is looking to make up, but as your final comrade falls, you're all that's left remaining, and Myth will be sweeping up the dust.
They weren't able to use the utility, Popo. They have smokes and flashes to be able to deal with some of these key positions in library to enable them to get into sight, but Wisteria just didn't take the time to figure out sort of exactly what they need to be doing. But this is the credit to the Myth. They know one's deep in sight, but they've assumed he doesn't have diffuser, and they've basically played for the retake scenario. They understood the power of the vert, and they've used it to great effect to get their first defense over the line.
First defense over the line, but again, this is only the opening round. We still have to wait for these teams to set themselves into the match, and as now we're going to be going to one of the less commonly picked sites here.
We are going to be going to top floor. This is a very controversial site. Some teams love it, some teams hate it. Teams like Myth have got something cooked up for us. When we look at the roster they're bringing as well, we've got the Mozzie and the Solis. Heavy intel denial towards this library side. Maybe looking to contest Wisteria extremely early, not allow any drones to enter this area, which allows them to hold on to that bar and library side for just a lot longer. If you can't get info on where these rotates, where these people are moving, you're basically fighting blind. You're going to have to face check a lot of these corners, which gives the advantage to the defenders in those gunfights. On a map as small as Chalet, why not contest the attackers early? Don't give them any entry into the building and make it as difficult as possible for the attackers.
As difficult as possible. You're talking about it. It's right. All the denial of information will heavily pivot Myth, as we've seen them play aggressive on the top floor, even on the earlier extension. But hey, Wisteria still have themselves these early drones. They're using them quite well, as it seems like Tridley has been spotted out, and maybe the attackers are looking to hunt him down. Definitely don't have the necessary utility to, like a Deimos or a Jackal, to do it. But currently, Wisteria's lineup does seem to be kind of leaning into the execution a bit more.
And this is heavily centered around this Solarium side take. You can see they're droning out that trophy area. They've got everybody stacked towards this side of the map, but they need to clear below first of all. Solis being buffed recently as well, after she was nerfed a long time ago. She's really useful to deny this setup, this plant as well. But look, it's been read so well by Myth. They've got people lurking in basement to try and support their player in kitchen.
Small tips of damage. Merlin holding it steady, but gotta consider the roamer's job is to waste time here, not go for kills. I think Myth are looking to multitask it, even though we still see hints of aggression from some of these players. Tridley even peeking out for a moment, extending himself towards this west side possibly. Does have an idea of someone being on that west window, goes for the pre-fire. Currently Wisteria are just holding them at bay, but eventually they're gonna need to move forward, and Tridley is taking his chance. It finds a drone. That's the job of a Solus, but it's not to peek and die to Niaz, as an instant refrag is attempted, but not successful.
And just like that, they've got the control they needed. With a minute 20 left on the clock, now they can start to work that owl position. But Akari in Narnia, Dynamite's going to find one back in the middle of nowhere on the run out as he's getting tagged on his way back in.
Getting tagged and can't seem to find a way out, but isn't fully locked. Dynamite has the opportunity to go up library stairs, although still seems to be sticking around this first floor as of the moment. Akari tempted. The Claymore's there, spotted as well, but it's going to be Nolf reading into him perfectly, and you don't want to drop this smoke so early. Akari, what are the chances? What are we taking? Do we back off? You just have to waste time. The smoke babes here could provide so heavily, but you're found from a different direction. Nolf on your back was able to execute you just in time, and Wisteria now one player above.
And now it's going to be the battle of attrition. There's a mirror to deal with, but Eli's going to fall. It's C4s in hand. It's all hands on deck as the clock hits 30 and they need to get a move on.
Yes, they do. Wisteria are now heading upstairs where they should be horizontally fighting out the battle for sight. Turco still managing to pick up another, but Myth do not hold the advantage, although they're able to equalize out the man count, maybe bring it into their own favor. Two players on extremely low HP. It's going to be down to Turco, and he's able to wipe them all off as Myth with the second round.
And Wisteria, again, early, look great. They have a plan. But the problem is, as soon as they meet some resistance on the site itself, it doesn't seem like they have the coordination to use their utility where they need to. They didn't have anything to deal with the mirror, which really cost them. The Warden and his teammates sitting pretty behind the mirror were able to repel Wisteria. But we still had 4 Candelas in Ying's back pocket with 20 seconds to go. Just throw the kitchen sink and see what sticks, because that's going to give you the most success in these next few rounds.
Even though Myth were having a bit of a troubling time on this middle ground, right? Around Trophy, they were getting slaughtered, maybe exchanged for drones, but in general, Wisteria, they kind of fell into the trap of Myth. The amount of time that was wasted on that bottom floor, it took around a minute, 2 minutes and a half for them to start approaching site. And like you said at Amguns, they still had a bunch of utility left to go, but they didn't have the time to use it.
I mean, we punished the roaming smoke, which is phenomenal. We love that. We got a 3v5, which is what we needed to sort of get around on the board. However, what we can say is it is early. There is time for these players to warm up. And this is also now best of 3 territory. Wisteria have rounds to lose, if that makes sense. You have time to sort of feel any adaptations your opponents have made. Because obviously, Popo, these guys have played each other numerous times. Wisteria is actually ahead in the head-to-head from the tournament so far. They won once on Labs. They also won once. Remind me on the other map that they took.
They won twice on Labs.
Twice on Labs. So that map 3 could be incredibly
well, look at Dynamite going for the swing. Just a little peek hole into that main bedroom window. And just like that, Carnage has been taken off. That's your Demo's gone.
And that's the one operator we need to deal with this roam game. And just like Dynamite's been doing it all game, he's been getting active, he's been looking for these kills, he's looking to be aggressive. And Wisteria in that last round did a great job of punishing that aggression. But this time they've got caught slacking as Dynamite is going to kick the entry off for us once again.
Oh, what a heartbreaking operator to lose as well. The main initiator to take care of roamers. But it's a gun down as well. Myth are still playing this top floor, and considering that Wisteria have already wasted a minute on the outside of the map, but the bottom floor is still uncontested. They're attempting to clear some of these roamers, but again, time is ticking.
Taco's going to find another Popo. It's too easy. They're walking into these angles, face checking. Well, that's a lovely wallbang. But Dynamite finds another.
Dynamite's just going around, taking kills and headhunting them all down. As finding 2, it doesn't seem like that's going to be the end point for the aggressive Goyo player. A couple of shots is waved by Nulf, but that's just going to be allowing Dynamite to get a bit more creative on this master bedroom side. Makes new holes, backs down Trophy. One peeking out, that's going to be the mirror. I imagine Eli doesn't want to lose his life. Look at the advantage that it has been given. Myth do persist with Turco's kill as well, while the opponent's able to hunt down Turco. Eli finds the last, and just like that, Myth have now gone 3 for 3.
Bit of trade X action coming in there, as there was a lovely trade from the main door, but Myth are firing all cylinders. As you said, 3 for 3 right now across their 3 main bomb sites. But now we get to see the bans come in. 3rd ban for both teams. And right now, Wisteria, I don't think the operators have been their problem. We saw the Malusi getting brought out for basement to capitalize on that Brava ban coming in. But I think Wisteria, it's more of a coordination issue than it is a particular operator being incredibly strong.
We're taking a look at these bans, Hamguns. We're looking at Twitch and Mira.
Makes sense, right? We wanted to bring the Mira in a lot of our setups. We can ban one operator that's commonly used. And you can see Turco immediately hopping on the Fenrir. And this is a complete change in strat here, based on the Twitch ban. Now we're bringing the Malusi. Now we're bringing the Fenrir and the Denari, which is what Twitch counter. This is what we want to see. Now that both drone operators have been banned out, the Brava and the Twitch, now we go full utility. The Aruni even is normally countered by the Brava. There's basically everything in this lineup, other than the mute, is directly benefiting from the bans, and this is what I wanted to see. I absolutely love this Puffo.
Oh, we love to see it. Myth are fantastically reading into this match. But Wisteria, I'm just going to ask you for a second. Remind me again what is expected. What's the split supposed to be expected on a half here? It's supposed to be like 3-3, right? That's what you'd expect. We're saying 3 rounds from Myth. It's only going to get worse if Wisteria don't step up their game. Yeah,
Wisteria need to lock in. There's no 2 ways around it. We are expecting a 3-3 half, as the map statistics from here in Voltage, as well as from EML, or EMEA Stage 2, have shown us that this is generally a very even map. So we need Wisteria to start making adaptations, and that's why I like what we're seeing. We've gone for a much more aggressive, in-your-face lineup coming in from the side of Wisteria. Use the Blitz to isolate these fights with your gunners behind you. Get Pozo, who's the gunner of your roster, to get in behind the Blitz and initiate these gunfights, and really start to unsettle Myth and get some rounds on the board.
It's a bit heartbreaking. We've seen Wisteria play off of these execution operators in the past so much. This time around, they're going to be going head in. Nulf with the bullets, as mentioned. Hopefully the Ying is kept alive till the end game as Dynamite is looking to peek and find himself the opening contact, but Merlin with the expectation and instant execution. And for a change of pace, Wisteria have found themselves first contact.
And now this opens up the rush. They're going to Ying top floor. They're looking to get the blitz in hard and fast and really change the paces. Here they go, Poffo.
The aggression starting to kick off. We do try to knife out Nulf, but he has the flash on you, an instant pistol flick, and that's going to be Trinley off the board. Wisteria starting to turn things on its head as the plant is going down, and Mid have no clue of how to deny it. They can play verticality. Turco can get one, but will be instantly exchanged by Pozo, as now dropping on. The blitz is exposed. Ricari gets away with one. Pozo on low, trying to bring it back. It's going to be the help of Eli that makes it so, as the final two players of Wisteria shove outside of their own execution. The defenders holding them at bay now. Still plenty of time to go on, but look at the aggression of Myth.
There's a guy right below the hatch, straight 2v2, as Pozo's going to find 1v2 for Eli.
Eli, it's all or nothing. Do you keep the flawless streak going, or will Wisteria finally break the curse? They need to play this extremely safe. Pings around, you hear the glass, he's right on by, but you need a single bullet to pin the jump, maybe two. You spot the head, he backs off, doesn't want to risk it, and Pozo currently on a drone seeking out information, but you should be playing between each other. They're isolated.
They've got info on both as well, both getting red pinged, and they're both low HP.
Eli's trying to peek him out, just find himself on 1v1. That's all he needs, right? Because then the chances are going to be so much better. Pozo's given him. No, I don't think so. He's not giving him a single moment. Gonna slip up here by Wisteria. A pre-fire's there, but Pozo expects it, spots the hole, takes his shot, and wins Wisteria the first round.
It was dicey, but they get it over the line, and that's what the change of pace does. It introduces the carnage that Wisteria need to make Myth uncomfortable. I love the fact that they've used that ban phase to think of how can we get some rounds on the board, how can we get some momentum, and they've come up with a rush and executed it well. You have to remember they found the opening pick, they punished Dynamite's aggression, and that's the double-edged sword that playstyle brings. You either get rewarded for getting opening picks, or you get punished. It's a straight 50-50 gamble, and the gamble hasn't paid off this time around. So we finally see Wisteria getting on the board.
Guns, are we seeing kitchen and dining for the first time?
We are. They've gone to all four sites, and it's a very viable strategy on Chalet as well. In the current map pool, there's not many maps that offer the ability to play all four sites, and especially now with the Twitch and the Brava banned out, again, leaning heavily into that with the very trap-focused lineup. It's almost identical to what we saw over on Bar in the last round, with the adaptation of bringing the Solis and the Tabaro instead of the operators we saw in the previous round. But basically go full trap heavy, go full TDM, bring all the operators that let us win gunfights, because they don't have the operators to counter them anymore.
100%. Wisteria spotted out that the Blitz did them quite well, but the Blitz didn't feel as comfortable as a Blackbeard bringing out the Scar, better artillery, and now that's where we get to see him. Early information being denied. Currently, Myth have extended upstairs quite well, and even quite deep, as we see them also pushing their type of strategy towards Library.
And I like that we've hopped on the Flores to deal with these Malusi. We've identified that this operator will slow us down. It will basically counter our aggression, so we need to bring something to deal with it.
Look at Eli. Tempted by the information, players going on phones, and that lets Myth know that they're going to be pushing towards this library mezzanine side. Turco is looking to find a C4 chunk to possibly claim an early victim. Not just yet, but Wisteria, look at how cautious they're being.
There's a C4 prepped and ready for anyone to rappel into this doorway, and this is Myth at their finest, looking to deny access even outside the map, as Turco is just dancing with the devil here.
So nasty. Turco is not allowing entry on them. Meanwhile, Eli's fighting demons, being hunted by the Demos. Trinley elsewhere picks up on one, but it's going to be the bar fight won out by Myth for a second time. Wisteria have already dropped two of their major roamer clearers, so now we only get to wonder, what's the next step?
We have to trade the Blackbeard. We can't be putting in...
No, the run out here, it's gonna get denied. Dynamite falls, overzealousness by Myth going against them. It's one down, but Wisteria can start converting it from this point.
And I was gonna say, now we finally get a trade, especially when we bring in a Blackbeard. We can't let him be in situations where he's isolated. It's a brilliant read from Myth to get aggressive on that player, understanding that there's no backup for the Blackbeard, and capitalizing on that ability to find an opening pick for themselves. And now it's 4v3 with players low HP. We're just going to play the trade game.
I can't take Tridley seriously, just roaming around. Fireplace, mezzanine, he's all around the place, but it works out for Myth, right? They're just trying to seek out for more kills, and they're getting punished with each step they take. Carnage with a shot out to Tridley. No, finally gets exchanged. It took a bit for the isolated ace to be prioritized by Myth, but it's a down. It's not even a finish with the line scan. You can try and secure his life as they're carrying the elsewhere space. Pozo falls to him. Now in a 3v2, Myth could potentially finish it out. Do they have the information that we have a down player? Yes, but can they do anything about it? Not much.
I think they learned their lesson from Tridley. Tridley was a bit too eager to get himself positive, so he was looking to get them kills, was punished. I think the rest of Myth have realized we just need to hold our ground. 20 seconds left. We just sit pretty in our crossfires and wait for that clock to run down. But we found a kill coming in. Now it's straight 2v2.
Straight 2v2, Carnage is looking to turn around. Visteria might get onto a flawless streak of their own, but verticality still being held by Myth. You're going to need to get this plan down, but have little to no information on where the defenders lie. Very cautious, Carnage, maybe even a bit scared of how it could go wrong, although Nova's going to be able to second. No, Turco coming in from the side of Trophy, just denied in the last split second, and now Myth return around to their own.
It was a really good attempt from Wisteria. They haven't counted themselves out. They found that kill to keep themselves in the round. They've attempted to get the kit down, but unfortunately the cover just wasn't quite there. But I think these rounds are being decided at various points. Wisteria, we were giving them praise. They were very, very good in the early rounds, but this time Myth have completely changed the pacing and found success in the openings, contesting the entry at every which way. And Wisteria, I think they need to add some ghost pressure maybe into the mix to stop telegraphing their attacks as much. Make it more difficult for Myth to read into exactly what your game plan is, so they can't predict what your positions are going to be and act accordingly.
They also need to kind of extinguish the flame of Myth and their aggression. We saw Turco on the previous round. Can we talk about Turco just peeking in with a C4 on mezzanine balcony, constantly denying from anyone going up that ladder? And again, Wisteria wanted to play off of that window, but they couldn't advance into office unless they went through library.
And that was the problem. Library was contested as well. They didn't have the pressure surrounding library to be able to evacuate that player out of that area. But I think it's also credit to just the amount of utility Myth are bringing. They've got Eli hopping on the Solus, which is newly buffed as well, and he gives so much information into where Wisteria want to go. I've spoken about that ghost pressure. The problem is when Eli activates his goggles, he can basically see where the drones are, what areas they're looking to clear, and that's where we maybe need to just open a lot more of the map and make it as difficult as possible for the likes of Eli and Asolis to coordinate back to his team where the push is coming in from.
We see a rare occasion of the downstairs side being used first time around as well. Main breach is out. Carnage fighting with Turco, able to claim glory as that's the Izami taken off the board. But Myth are still going to play aggressive. Dynamite seeking to challenge out from blue side, being held by Tridley as well, while the Wisteria hold themselves to a high standard on this execution.
They're going for a bit of a rush here. They're going for a really minimalist rush, but they've got this Soul Spud to deal with.
Ooh, don't do us like that.
He's going to keep juggling, but the utility is going. We're sending it this time around, which is what we like to see. But Myth have realized it. There's a Goyo canister as well, just above that default plant spot. So if this plant goes down on default, it's going to be denied outright.
Denied outright. Wisteria have wasted a Candela, maybe just to bait a bit of utility from the side of Myth, as some of the players on the attacking side are also looking to contest Fireplace.
I think Wisteria have realized maybe we can't go as fast as we wanted. The caveat of this strat is you need to commit to it. You have to send the utility, and if we look across Wisteria's lineup, only one Candela used. They were not confident in full sending it into this area, so they're going to go for a more traditional take. We're going to have that main breach open, but now we can take Car Garage side as well, hopefully get the back breaches open or get some lines of sight with the Maverick to sort of clear that pillar position, and then we can look to get that diffuser down.
Going for the traditional take could cost a bit of time, and again, time has been a virtue for both these teams. While in the meanwhile, Dynamite being hunted down by Neos. A great pickup on the kill second already. Myth are starting to struggle on the man count, and it might get even worse. Neos tempted by the hatch drop, pops the Goyo as early on as possible. Candela's wasted, but again, breaches being open from both sides. So Wisteria are starting to close in. Open.
They need
Neos
to clear this pillar position.
finding one. It's going to be an eye off. Tridley a bit of damage, trying to swing on main. Does seem to find the Thermite, but not at the best of standard. Nulf is able to bring him down to extremely low HP.
And this is really good work. They've capitalized on that opening. The C4 rains out. Will not find anything as with 5v2. This should be a Wisteria round.
Yeah, smokes are out, but it seems that finally we're going to go to a bit more of that primary execution. Go for the rush. Actually stick it down. Tridley finds Merlin. That's going to be the first blood dropped by Myth. A second to follow as well. But the plant is going down and Neos is still fighting back. It all is left down to Akari. Again, more recent of an addition. Quite a performer here for Myth. But in a 1v3 such as this, I don't think this is a spot where you can find glory.
This is going to be the second clutch situation Akari's found himself in his hunting.
Yeah, might be over, done and dusted. Maybe he still has that fighting spirit. You do find the deagle shots onto Neos, but time is running out. Tick-tock, that's the sound of the diffuser running away from you. Bozo Nulf, last outside, just holding you crossed out and able to finish it off.
If we think back to situations that are extremely difficult to win, I think a plant on this main breach has to be one of the worst retakes in the game. I think the only one that was worse was Old Consulate, when people used to sit all the way back at the back of the map and watch the diffuse. It's a very similar situation here on Chalet, when you've got a player above and a player sat all the way out in the cliffs. I think that was a situation, as good as Akari is always going to struggle to get it over the line. But Wisteria, they get a respectable scoreline going into their defense. It could be that Wisteria are a defensive-focused team, and that's why getting this 4-2 split, it keeps them in the running. We are going to see the shields getting banned out. I think no surprises there, Puffo.
No surprises there. We didn't see as much of that in our first ban phase, but into the second, we get a bit of changes. Now what's left open is going to be the Mira. And of course, what did we also see last time around? It was the Mira and Grim. We also see the Grim now in play.
The Grim is in play. There's a lot of execute-heavy operators really come into their own on a map like Chalet, and that's where the likes of Capital can be utilized a lot more now as well, that the Ying has been taken away to clear key positions around the map. I think it's very obvious that Wisteria did not want to deal with the Monty, but it still leaves the Blitz and the Blackbeard available. So I'm very curious to see if Myth want to lean into that utility. We've spoken extensively how strong those operators are. But I don't know if recently you saw, Puffo, on the patch notes that came out very recently, the general public have seemed to shy away almost from the shields. I don't know if you noticed that recently.
I've taken a bit of a glance at it, and I guess it's just a time thing. You know, even when shields were extremely considered to be broken or overpowered, the most of the community was saying it's only a matter of time until people get used to the new changes, the new buffs, the rework of the shields, and I think that's what's starting to slowly showcase, but also with the newer introductions of operators like the Nari, who quite greatly counter them, and Aruni being one of the few operators with an ACOG, meaning she's played more, shields have started to kind of go down a steep hill.
And I think Myth would agree with you. They're not bringing a shield for this bar site, which is fascinating, but what I do like about Myth's roster is they've just brought the Ash. This is not something we saw Wisteria do, and it's nice that they just straight up bring the Ash. We can burn any denial, which isn't being brought from the side of Wisteria, so it should be relatively easy to clear this mirror setup being brought in by North.
This is a bit of foreshadowing. Maybe I'm reading too much into this, but Tridley took a look at the bar entrance door, and I think that Myth might be trying to find a way into the site very easily. There was no utility on it for the Twitch drone to destroy, meaning Wisteria have left that a bit uncontested, and it's all down to Nulf to defend it, so we're going to have to see how that goes later on. But currently, Myth are just playing it a bit more safe. They're not going for that defensive aggression, which, again, Chalet favors a bit more. But on the attacking side, they're going to play around utility, break the site down, and wait to get a moment.
They're looking to hit this direct. They realize there's nobody playing the library hatch, so that means that the big window or the site window is free to be used. They're going to get this mirror popped as well after they cleared it with the Ash charge, which is great progress. As you can see, they're just lurking around the site itself. They've also got the stock wall open, which means that anybody playing inside of stock, which directly stops the jump in on games window, is now not available. They've almost got everything they need just to be able to jump in that site window and start getting that diffuser down.
Bad timing here from Merlin. Wanted to cross over towards Piano Hallway, but Dynamite just in the perfect moment, able to deny so. Rotation cutoff, that's the first gone. Took about 2 minutes, but we have our first blood here, and contact further by Tridley as second will fall here against Wisteria. Myth are making movement with all this utility clearage. Gunfights will be a bit easier to take.
Wisteria, they're just getting uncomfortable. They don't need to take these fights. They're just being picked off from these long lines of sight against these DMRs. And it's all down to Pozo, the hero, to get active and try and make something happen.
Get active, spots the head, doesn't connect the shot, and now backs off towards blue. Major position here, but Myth have spread themselves thin. One player outside of player plays. That's going to be two. Tridley getting downed. Could be a good start here for Wisteria, as it's going to be Niaz able to finish the job on him. And as we head into the final half of a minute here, Niaz is seeking out for a kill alongside Pozo, and they could be converting this into a situation that favors them. Eli denying them of it, as now Fire plays battle. Niaz tempted to take the gunfight, but again, the defenders are starting to cross out the Capital while the plant is going down. The priority has not been set in the correct decision. Maybe it has. Niaz is able to defile the planter, as now it's all down to the final. The ace, who does trade it out, gets the time to stick it down right behind bar. The C-Force there doesn't connect. Yes, it's a down, and Pozo just in time before Eli gets away with his life. Doesn't know about it. Pozo's going for quick piece. He doesn't know that the ace is down.
Surely not.
He doesn't know. He has no clue. Oh, there we go.
He knows now. He's figured it out. He's figured it out. He's going to get the defuse down. And what a round from Wisteria. They've got active in the 3v5. They found the kills somehow. We saw the soulless shotgun on main door. The rat play coming out on main lobby to even up the man count is lovely stuff from Wisteria. They weren't going to bow down and let Myth take over the round. And it was the lack of info that enabled it. Myth took so long to get everything set up for their execute, used all of that drone economy early to make sure they got the stock wall open, to find their couple of entries, but it left nothing left to find out the remaining 3 players, and it's let them get active, it's let them get back into the round. So a lovely response from Wisteria to cut the deficit in half and start off their defense strong.
So I'm going to start off their defense on the middle floor as well. We're going to be going from bar gaming, continuing over towards kitchen and dining, as now we get, on the attacking side at least, Myth's first tease of a possible shield pick.
Again, I think they haven't been nerfed, although the general player base hasn't been sort of capitalizing on the shields maybe as much as we used to see from them. That's not the case for Myth. I think, especially in a competitive setting, the amount of space you can take with a shield. We saw Wisteria give us a masterclass in getting aggressive with the blitz, but he's not been brought at the moment. I think it's have to wait and see what exactly Myth settle on. But Wisteria, they also are leaning heavily on the soulless, especially on a map like this. We spoke about it earlier. It just gives you so much information on where your opponents are stacking up from with the extended range that that scanner now has, as well as the combination of the Tabaro and the Bandit. This could be huge for the side of Wisteria. You can completely lock out Myth from opening up that library wall. And now, Popo, we look at this lineup from Myth. There is no hard breach in this lineup.
There is none. A bit of verticality, a bit of this, a bit of that, but Myth in general, they're not going to be going for the hard breach. Eli almost losing his life, and you don't want to be passing down the sense so early on. Again, execution operators matter a lot because they're good in the execution. If you don't get to that point or they're dead by it, doesn't bring much value.
I'm really curious to see what Myth have cooked up for us here as they spread themselves across this top floor, looking to take care of the verticality. This is one thing you have to deal with, but Akari's going to find that pit onto Al, taking out the Bandit, and that's lovely entry work from Myth once again.
Once again, Wisteria are not letting go of this top floor just yet. They know how much it matters to Myth, again, especially according to their lineup, with the Buck being an essential part of that vertical clearage. It's gonna, oh no, the bike is actually set downstairs, so I don't think Myth are even looking for contention on the top floor. Niaz down below looking to hunt down Turco in return. The flash is there, both players know of each other's presence, but not the exact ping. Turco just on his cam now. The Solus has gotten a bit too close for comfort, hides behind boxes, gets a bit of head space, but with the second chance, Turco's able to claim their life, as Arkari finds Tridley on the team kill. Don't know how that happened, but it definitely won't be looking good for Myth, or any better.
They've managed to make their way basically knocking on the door to kitchen here.
Oh, exposed. Eli falls. A second one looking to peek it on because Myth now feel the pressure that Wisteria might be able to bring this round back, even after such a great deal was cost to them. But Wisteria aren't giving them these free picks.
They have this player pinned. They've got a flashbang as well to try and dislodge Nolf. He's the only sight anchor left. The C4 is now used as well, having to fight his own utility. As with a minute left in the 3v3, Myth taking a big reset, trying to figure out what the path of least resistance is going to be to get this round over the line.
Even scaring Yurkari here. Tries to find a shot. Almost reads into Merlin. Two players still above, and Yurkari needs to fight both of them. As Pozo exposing himself with a kill onto Dynamite. Turco on side ground, able to pick up Nulv, but the diffuser is not within your grasp, and you still need to find the final two players that are just above, holding you at bay and denying you from planting comfortably. A couple of shots Turco's way just to scare him off for a moment, but time is ticking once more.
And the problem is there's nowhere safe on this site. Everywhere can be seen from above, and it's going to be on Turco to hold this vert while this kit gets stuck.
It gets sucked down. Nice confirm as well. Turco instantly trying to hold down Trophy, while Merlin taking a secondary route to find him off that long angle all the way from Fireplace. As Arkari once more in a clutch situation, needs to find both of the final two, which are playing against the pressure of time as well. But the fact that they have a man lead is going to be the greatest that Wisteria can work off of. Merlin exposed for a moment, but where will Pozo initiate Arkari from Trophy? Crossed out as well, but we only have 10 seconds to find this final player. Malusi exposing herself for a moment, dropping Arkari down to a bullet of HP, and Pozo able to find the final swing.
And just like that, Wisteria, they are the defensive team we thought they are. They tie it up 4-4 with a lovely retake from above, and it's just a case of Myth in that round, I think, lost their way. They had a bit of a pocket strap to deal with the verticality on that top floor, but with Eli being taken down to such low HP in the early parts of the round, that top floor take just seemingly falling apart, and Wisteria capitalizing on that with full effect.
Syria finding the grace of an equalization on the round count. As, again, Chalet was picked up by Wisteria. Normally, people would expect them to win this map. And is this the possible start of a greater end?
We're going to have to wait and see, because these are two massively even-matched teams across the tournament. Although Myth were a higher seed coming in from Stage 3, in Stage 2, Puffo, they were in the same group, and they had the same amount of points as well. It was only a +6 round difference for Myth that gave them the top seed going into the group stage. And then in the group stage, obviously they played each other as well. There was an 8-6 to Myth on Labs and a 7-4 to Wisteria on Labs. So these are two massively evenly matched teams, and we're seeing that in this game. Wisteria have brought it back. We've now got a 4-4 split, and it's in Wisteria's hands now to start building the lead. It's going to be their first opportunity to get the lead in this game. And I'm really excited to see what they can cook for us.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, going into this matchup in general, Wisteria, again, like we mentioned previously, the statistic underdogs. But when we go head-to-head, at least in Voltage League Season 7, and the only map between these two teams being Nighthaven Labs, it is a 2-1 score in Wisteria's favor. So, again, Myth can now even it out, but in general, for kind of the entirety of Voltage League, Wisteria have been having struggles against other teams, but they can really read well into Myth. Now, we see the two around play here greatly, but it will not be denying the breach as the nade coming in to take care of that freeze nade, and Niaz upstairs hunting some of these players. And again, Wisteria know how they have to play this, but they're not able to find themselves any engagement.
And this is a telegraphed lobby take. The Ram is a dead giveaway that we want to get control of the vert, we want to get control of library, and we basically want to use the vert to cut off the key positions in the site. The big one is now connector. It's the only place that you can now deny the default plant, but Turco's going to punish Merlin to kick things off for us.
Can we talk about Turco? 11 kills and 5 deaths. This man has been an absolute harbinger of death here. While meanwhile, no similar can be said for him in this round. Opening here for Turco. That's so much hype behind him for him to go into the grave. Are you kidding me? Come on, Turco.
He was having a great round. He found the entry on the hard support. He got the wall open, so he's got his job complete. But look at the read from Wisteria. They understand that Myth need this vert if they want to make this take work. And they've still got people contesting this verticality. And Myth are just trying to find a way to deal with it.
Oh, missed opportunity on the headshot. Second one swings on by, and Neons claims one. Goes both ways. An instant trade here by Dynamite, found in quick succession. But again, you talk about contention and verticality. Little do they know there's someone still playing and dying. And Dynamite doesn't get taken out. He's able to return those shots back to centered. And now Wisteria with 2 players against the 3 that Myth have to offer.
And that's just the fact that that MPX is a pea shooter. If it was any other gun, we see the gridlock fall there. So that, unfortunately for Wisteria, is that vertical hold now dealt with. There is a couple of key positions left we need to clear, like Connector that you can see Ash now working on. If we can make sure Connector is clear, pop the mirror as well, then we're all set for Akari to go for this plant.
A lack of utility on the attacking side. The defenders still have 2 C4s, which can end up being quite deadly in a moment such as this. Just play it around safely with the explosives. Smith are looking to step on in, but again, they just need the right timing to do so. They're looking at it. They're waiting for 20 seconds here, and Wisteria are ready to read into you, trying to deny it with the impact with the EMP, as one kills go both way, and now Nolf is the last one over towards Connector, tries to engage Eli in a 1v1, but loses the battle, loses the round, and Myth will keep themselves within the lead.
And it's really good team coordination from the side of Myth. Make sure we trade the kills. I think Akari just decided we're just going to go for the kills. Just get active, follow me in, let's go for the kills. And they managed to trade it out, and it's worked really well for the side of Myth. But it could have been such a different round if we found that pick onto the gridlock. It was so well played from Wisteria to sort of bait Myth into that lobby area and then spring the trap. But unfortunately, they've just been out-fragged, and that's going to be Myth restoring their lead. As now we see the Grim and the Solid's getting banned out. I think that's a direct target ban for both of these teams against very popular operators from their opponents. So I think it makes a lot of sense with these bans.
Would we consider Grim a popular operator from Myth? I don't think we've seen the Grim quite oftenly here from the attacking side.
We saw him used on Kitchen, but he was punished early, I believe. So I think they've just gone for a generic execute-heavy operator. That way, when we go back to the likes of Bar, Top Floor, the Grim is just not available.
I mean, honestly, yeah, no one wants to deal with the Grim. There is no denying that. Being against the Grim, especially on this side, we haven't seen Myth go with the Grim here, but again, the last time they played on the attacking side and it was Library, they ended up going with a Blitz. So I think if that wasn't an option, Grim would have been a great replacement.
And we spoke about how Turco has been having a phenomenal game. We can't mention that without also talking about Pozo's 10-5 right now. He's got a 2 KD of his own, equaling the kill record that Turco's holding in the lobby at the moment. But we've also got Neos. The difference between these two rosters is the kills are more evenly shared across the likes of Myth, whereas from Wisteria we've got 2 clear standout performers in the form of Pozo and Neos. If Myth can sort of isolate those players and target them early, that's going to give them really good success.